Now we see another probability called as total probability. So let us consider we have some n number of events A1, A2, and so on. AN. All these are mutually exclusive events. That is, AI intersection AJ is equivalent to 5 or I not equivalent to 0. And one more thing, sigma is the union of all these elements I equivalent to 1 to n is AI is equivalent to x. If this condition is satisfied, these events are said to be what we call those events. The first condition says that these are disjoint events. Is it? And the second condition, that is this one. This is the first condition, and the second condition says that the events are exhaustive. Is it right? When this condition is satisfied, the events are said to be exhaustive events, and here is mutually exclusive events or disjoint events. Here we are assuming we perform some experiment and we define the sample space. On the sample space, we have again defined n number of events A1, A2, and so on, AM, which are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Then these events can be represented in the sample space S. So this is the event A1. This is another event A2. And we have the event A3 and so on, like this. We have n number of events. Like this. Let this is AN. All these are mutually exclusive events. Now let us define one more arbitrary event called as B. So this B is also defined on the same sample space, and this is arbitrary. So now let us find the probability of occurrence of this particular new event B in terms of the probability of occurrence of the mutually exclusive n number of events, which are also exhaustive. So for that purpose, we consider equality. What is B intersection S? B itself, is it? Take a set and we have the S. The B intersection S is B itself plus the common elements in both S and B are in the B itself. Therefore, B intersection S can be written as B. And one more thing, what about AI, B? Are they mutually exclusive? Take for example, A1 into B intersection A2. Can I write like this? Is equivalent to 5? Definitely. Why? Because A1, A2 are disjoint. So definitely A1B intersection A2B will also be disjoint. Okay. So in general, we can write that AIB intersection AJB. What do you mean by AIB here? A1B indicates what? AB. AB is the intersection. A plus B is the union. Okay. AB is the intersection. That is A1B is the intersection of the two events. A2B is the intersection of A2 and 2. Now we are taking this event and this event. We let this as E1, this as E2. E1 intersection E2 is again disjoint. Therefore, I can write for I not equivalent to J. Because the n number of events that we define on the sample space S are also disjoint. Definitely AIB for I not and AJB for I not equivalent to J will also be disjoint. Is it clear? Then try to find the probability of the event B. This is equivalent to probability of B intersection S. Is it right? And this can also be written. What is B intersection S? See, S can be replaced by I equivalent to 1 to n AI. Is it right? Now, by using mathematical induction, this can also be written the probability of union of I equivalent to 1 to n is B intersection AI. Is it right? So we already know that B intersection A1, B intersection A2, B intersection A3, all these are mutually exclusive. Therefore, this can be replaced by sigma I equivalent to 1 to n probability of B intersection AI. So this is the probability of occurrence of the event B that is defined on the sample space S, which is an arbitrary event. And before that, we already defined some n number of events. So here we are evaluating the probability of occurrence of particular event B in terms of the probability of occurrence of this joint event. Probability of B intersection A1, B intersection A2, and so on B intersection AN. Is it right? Now we already know that probability of some E1 given that E2. That is the probability of occurrence of the event E1 given that E2 has been occurred is here the probability of E2 is not equivalent to. So this is a conditional probability that we already defined. The conditional probability is a defined quantity. Okay? So we cannot prove it. Okay? We define the conditional probability as the ratio NAB by NA or NAB by NB. This is a conditional probability which is a defined quantity. When the quantity is defined, we cannot prove that particular relation. So this relation cannot be proved. But we can check the three axioms of probability will be satisfied by the conditional probability also. So we have the elementary probability, joint probability, and conditional probability. So all these probabilities defined on the different sets must satisfy the axioms. Definitely they will satisfy the axioms of probability. from this probability of E1 intersection E2. Can be written as probability of E1 given E2, and this is multiplied with probability of, this is the joint probability of the two events T1 and 2. Now you take the probability of B, so that is with this relation we can write that probability of B as sigma I equivalent to 1 to n. We have probability of B intersection AI. Probability of B intersection AI can be written as probability of B given AI multiplied with probability of AI. Is it right? See, we are applying or we are using this relation in the equation that we already derived for P of B. Is it? See this equation. This one. Okay. So here we are replacing this probability of B intersection AI with probability of B given AI multiplied with probability of AI. Okay. So this particular quantity is called as the total probability of occurrence of the event. This is termed as the total probability or average probability. See here, the P of P is written in terms of probability of occurrence of AI and the conditional probability of B, is it? Because the probability of occurrence of B is depending on the occurrence of AI, because all these events are defined on the same sample space, and we have n mutually exclusive and exhaustive events on the set S. Then we define an arbitrary event B, and the probability of occurrence of that particular arbitrary event B is given by this, which is written in terms of the conditional probability of B given AI has been occurred and the elementary probability of AI. So this particular relation is very, very important, and the applications of this particular equation is the communication. In communication theory and in biometrics, we use the concept of total probability. And similarly, we already know that probability of E2 given E1 can also be written as probability of E1 intersection E2 upon probability of E1. Are you able to follow that what I am writing? Actually, there is some problem here. So from this equation and this equation, we can write the Bayes rule. Is it? So what is that? That is, we can equate the probability of E1 multiplied with probability of E2 given E1 is equivalent to probability of E2 multiplied with probability of E1, E2. That is E1 given E2. Understood that? Then we can write this probability of E1, E2. That is the probability of occurrence of event E1 given that E2 has been occurred is equivalent to the probability of E1 multiplied with probability of E2 Is it right? So this is the conditional probability of E1 given E2 has been occurred, which is written in terms of elementary probability of E1, elementary probability of E2, and conditional probability of E2. So this particular relation is called as the Bayes rule or Bayes theorem. So here this can also be written as probability of the event E1 multiplied with probability of E2 given E1. Now if you observe this probability of E2, can you replace this B by E2 here? This is the total probability. If you replace this event B by E2, then what you will get probability of E2 is equivalent to sigma I equivalent to 1 to n probability of E2 AI probability of AI. That is, here this probability of E2 can be represented by the total probability of E2, and we can write it as sigma I equivalent to 1. This is probability of E2 given AI probability of AI. So this particular relation is again the Bayes relation. So it is called as Bayes relation, a Bayes rule, a Bayes theorem. Okay. That is, we are using the total probability, the concept of total probability that is applied in the Bayes. So instead of simply writing the probability of E2 as P of E2, the P of E2 can be replaced by its total probability. Understood? So here the difference between this equation and this equation is, here the arbitrary event is B, here the arbitrary event is E2. That is the only difference. Understood? To the sample space that we considered, we have written the expression for the Bayes rule. Otherwise, you can replace this E2 by B also. Then what you will get? Probability of, this can also be changed. Probability of A1 or AI. See, you have two events, E2 and E1. Now you can consider E2 as B, and this E1 can be written as AI. So therefore, this will be probability of AI, probability of B, AI, and this is probability of B, AI, probability of AI. Understood? So, and this will become probability of B, AI. Understood? That is the probability of occurrence of the event B given AI has been occurred can be written as probability of AI into probability of BAI divided by sigma I equivalent to 1 to n probability of BAI into probability of AI. Write that expression. Write down. A binary communication system. A binary communication system is shown below. A binary communication system is shown below, in which a symbol 1 or 0 can be transmitted. A symbol 1 or 0 can be transmitted. A symbol 1 or 0. So symbol 1 or 0 can be transmitted from one end to another end. So let us assume the symbol that we transmit is x equivalent to 0 or x equivalent to 1. So here the name itself indicates the binary communication system. The binary means 2. So here in the binary communication channel or in the binary communication system, we are transmitting either 0 or 1. We can transmit only two symbols, 0 or 1. So let us assume x indicates the transmission of the symbol 0 or 1. And let us assume the probability of transmitting x equivalent to 0 is 0.5 and the probability of x equivalent to 1 is also 0.5. Why I have chosen them as same? That is, both are equally probable, or the two events are equally likely. What is one event? The event of transmitting a 0. Another event is the event of transmitting 1. So both, as we have only two symbols, so we are assuming they are equally probable. Therefore, the probability of transmitting x equivalent to 0, or probability of transmitting a symbol 0 is equivalent to the probability of transmitting a symbol 1. So here let us assume y indicates the symbol that we receive. So when 0 is transmitted, we receive a 0. When a 1 was transmitted, we receive a 1. Is it? But we already know that the main constraint of all the communication systems is the noise. So because of this noise, when we transmit 0, we may not receive 0. Instead, we will receive 1. Similarly, when you transmit a 1, you may not receive 1, but instead of that, you may receive 0 because of the errors that introduced by the system. So when the noise, or due to the presence of the noise, 0 may be received as 1 and 1 may be received as 0. That is, when you transmit 0 at the receiving end, you may receive a 1. Similarly, when you transmit a 1, you may receive a 0. And we already know that in order to transmit the information from one place to another place, we need to have a communication channel between the transmitter and receiver. Without the channel, we cannot transmit. So definitely, we need to have some medium. Take for example, we have the radio transmitter and the receiver is here. What is the connectivity between the transmitter and receiver? The air. The free space is the connecting wire, or it acts as the channel between the transmitter and receiver. In the channel itself, the noise may be introduced, or in the receiver itself, noise may be introduced, or the transmitter itself can introduce the noise, or the channel itself can introduce the noise. Therefore, to consider the communication system at different stages of the communication system, the information that we are going to transmit may be affected by the noise. What is the information that we are going to transmit here? The symbols 0 and 1. Okay? That is, we may transmit a sequence of ones and zeros. Let us assume we are transmitting an 8-bit digit as 1 0 0 1 and again 1 1 0 0. That is the information that we need to transmit from one place to another place. See, if everything is fine, the channel is an ideal channel, or if the system is ideal, whatever you transmit, that will be received. But in practice, when you transmit a 0, you may receive 1, and when you transmit 1, you may receive 0 because of the errors introduced by the system itself. Okay? Understood that? So that indicates when you transmit a symbol, you may not receive the same symbol. So here we should be able to perform this experiment, and as this particular experiment is producing the outcomes which are non-predictable. Can we predict the output? Can you expect what will be the outcome? That is, before receiving the symbol, we cannot expect what will be the symbol that we are going to receive. Okay? Even though you know the symbol that was transmitted, we may not expect what will be the symbol that we receive. So there is some degree of uncertainty before the symbol is received. Okay. Therefore, this particular observation or this particular experiment in which we are observing the signal that is received or symbol that is received, and it is probabilistic in nature. So therefore, this is an example of a random experiment. So what is the sample space of this random experiment? Sample space of the 0, 1. That is, here the outcome is either 0 or 1. That is, you may receive either 0 or 1. So therefore, the sample space can be written as 0, 1. So we can define different events. Okay, 4. So let us assume probability of receiving 0 when a 0 was transmitted is equivalent to, see, when 0 was transmitted, there is more chances of receiving 0, not 1. See, when 0 was transmitted, there are more chances of receiving 0 and less chance of receiving 1. Otherwise, when 0 was transmitted, there may be a more chance of receiving 1 and less chance of receiving 0. It depends on the noise level. If the intensity of the noise is more, the more noise is there, definitely you may not receive the actual signal. But if the noise intensity is very less, then we may receive. There is a much chance of receiving the symbol that was transmitted. That's why let us assume this probability is equivalent to some 0.8. Why? Because the probability of occurrence of this particular event is more. So it is almost equivalent to 1. 0.8 is approaching 1. Now let us take another event. Probability of receiving 0 when if 1 was transmitted. Definitely it will be less or 0.2. See, in both cases, what is the symbol that is received? The symbol that we received is 0, but the symbol that was transmitted is different. In the first case, you see the first event, 0 was transmitted and the probability of receiving 0 is 0.8. Here, 1 was transmitted, probability of receiving 0 is 0.8. That is, the second event is less probable when compared to the first event. And similarly, probability of receiving 1 when 0 was transmitted is less. The probability of occurrence of this event is very less. Consider this as 0.2. Actually, these are assumptions. Okay? That need not be 0.8. That may be 0.5 also. This may be 0.5 and this may be 0.5. Or this may be 0.1, this may be 0.9. Okay? Or this may be 0.25, this may be 0.7. See, through observation or by performing different experiments on the communication system, or by the design of the system, we can assume these are the probabilities and we are assigned. See, these are not the obtained probabilities. And one more thing, really we haven't performed the experiment. We are assuming everything. Therefore, these probabilities are called as a priori probabilities. And before performing the experiment, we are assigning some probabilities to certain events. So those probabilities are called as the a priori probabilities. Is it? And this one is probability of receiving the 1 when the 1 was transmitted. So definitely it has more chances. So let it be 0.8. Are you following? We considered a simple binary communication system. It is also called as a binary symmetric channel. Why? Because it is symmetric. If you see this diagram, it is symmetric. And we are transmitting two symbols. So that's why the name is as binary symmetric channel or communication system. So it is a simple example of a communication system where we can apply the concepts of probability that we studied it so far. Here, this particular performance of experiment, which is random in nature, is modeled by probability or the probabilistic methods that we already studied. Understood this? Now, our aim is to find the probability of y equivalent to 0. That is, what is the probability of receiving a symbol 0 at the receiving end? This is the receiver. And this is the transmitting end. There are two ends, transmitting and receiving end. In between, the channel is there. Find these two values. Can you find? We studied the total probability. We know the Bayes rule and this communication system. Find these two values. So you can test your understandability of the topics that we considered so far by solving this problem. It's a very simple problem and more important, which can be expected in the examination. What is the answer? Any of you completed? See, by design of the communication system, we define two probabilities. That is, probability of x equivalent to 0, probability of x equivalent to 1 is equivalent to 0.5. Because the two symbols have the same chance of transmitting. They are equally probable. Okay. And similarly, we define the conditional probabilities. The probability of receiving a 0 when a 0 was transmitted, probability of receiving a 0 when 1 was transmitted, probability of receiving a 1 when 0 was transmitted, probability of receiving 1 when 1 was transmitted. We define all those probabilities. Actually, these probabilities that we define, the four probabilities that we define, are based on our intuition. Based on the intuition we are expecting. As the probability of receiving 0 when 1 was transmitted is 0.8. And that value may be different, maybe 0.9 also. Then how you can tell the answer? See here, the probability of x equivalent to 0 and probability of x equivalent to 1, the two events are disjoint. Is it mutually exclusive? Is it right? What about probability of y equivalent to 0 and probability of y equivalent to 1? Are they mutually exclusive? Are they mutually exclusive? They are mutually exclusive. See, if you receive 0, you will not receive 1. 0 is received. No chance of receiving 0 at the same time. 0 is received, it excludes receiving 1. 1 is received, it excludes receiving 0. Therefore, they are mutually exclusive. Is it? Receiving 0, receiving a 1 are mutually exclusive. That is, event x y equivalent to 0 and event y equivalent to 1 are disjoint. Is it right? See, I transmitted 1. You received a 1. What does that mean? There is no chance of receiving 0 because you transmitted 1, you received 0. So it excluded the reception of 0. Otherwise, 1 is transmitted, you received 0. What does it mean? 1 was excluded. Therefore, both are mutually exclusive. Complete this point 5. That is right. Both are fine. So we calculate total probability. You have to apply the total probability. See here we have B and AI. Okay. What is AI in this case? AI is x equivalent to 0 is A1, x equivalent to 1 is A2, and B is y equivalent to 0. Another B is y equivalent to 1. We have two B's here. First let us have one B. That one B is y equivalent to 0. And AIs are A1 is x equivalent to 0, A2 is x equivalent to 1. So can you find the probability of B? Total probability. Similarly, consider the B equivalent to y equivalent to 1. That is, the event B is y is equivalent to 1. If you are confusing, we do one thing. Here, you can let A1 is equivalent to the event x equivalent to 0. This is one event. A2 is x equivalent to 1. See here I have written the curve, used the curved brackets that indicates those are the events. Okay. Normally the events are represented by that notation. Otherwise you can use the closed brackets also. Let us follow this convention. So here we have the event B. So this B can be the event y equivalent to 0 initially. Let us assume is y equivalent to 0. Therefore, probability of B. See why we are using the total probability here. We have one arbitrary event B and two mutually exclusive and exhaustive events A1 and A2 on the sample space. See, we are performing the experiment, the sample space is same, on the same sample space we are defining the B. That is the reason why to use the total probability. So probability of B is equivalent to how much? Sigma I equivalent to 1 to 2 here. There are two events A1, A2. two mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. So therefore, I equivalent to 1 to 2. This is probability of A B given AI into probability of AI. Now you can do this. Now substitute. That is probability of y equivalent to 0, x equivalent to 0 into probability of x equivalent to 0 plus probability of y equivalent to 0, x equivalent to 1, x equivalent to 1. How much you will get? 1. Once you know this, you can easily find the probability of y equivalent to 1. What is probability of y equivalent to 1? 1 minus probability of y equivalent to 0. Why? Because the two events are mutually exclusive. It's a very simple problem. But here we are using the concept of total probability. So later you try to find these also. Probability of x equivalent to 0 and y equivalent to 0. What does it mean? What is the meaning of this event? This is a joint probability. Okay, that is when there is for the transmission of 0 and reception of 0. Is it? Occurrence of transmission of 0 and reception of 0 events. It's a joint event. The two events occur jointly. This event x equivalent to 0 and y equivalent to 0. Similarly, x equivalent to 1 intersection y equivalent to 1. Find these four probabilities. Probability of x equivalent to 0 and y equivalent to 1. Because these are the chances, is it? 0 transmission and 1 reception. Similarly, we have the probability of x equivalent to 1 and y equivalent to 0. Now you can use the Bayes rule, is it? Because we already know the elementary probabilities, we know the conditional probabilities, is it? We already defined the conditional probability. We know conditional probabilities, elementary probability. We can find the joint probability. So we will continue in the next class.